Doctor Who. The underrated stories. Day of the Daleks. I am here today to talk to you about one of my all-time favorite stories, Day of the Daleks, which is also one of the most underrated stories not just of the Jon Pertwee era but the series as a whole. Day is one of those stories that just seems to get largely overlooked, and for no good reason. It is rare to find it being outright slagged, and yet at the same time it never seems to get the credit it deserves, with most of fandom apparently of the frankly deranged belief that it is inferior to Pertwee's two other Dalek stories, the tedious as hell Terry Nation Time Wasters Planet of the Daleks and Death to the Daleks, both of which have reputations far higher than they actually deserve. The extent of the fan criticism that Day does receive from fandom highlights the skewed priorities and strange OCD obsessions of the culture. There are only 3 Daleks, they cry, and the voices. So, wait, we're slagging off Doctor Who stories for having a small budget now? Really? Despite even the new series pointing out that one Dalek is enough to wipe out an entire city? As for the voices, you know, I've been a fan of this show for 30 years as of this upcoming Christmas, and I must have seen this story at least a couple of dozen times, and I have never really noticed much in the way of difference. They sound perfectly fine to me. So with fandom's pretty, trivial criticisms, all 2 of them, out of the way, what does Day of the Daleks do right? Well, basically everything. It has a fantastic script from Louis Marks, which not only has some of the best dialogue of the entire Pertwee era but hinges on an absolutely brilliant central concept, with a fantastic twist that predates a similar notion to that seen in The Terminator by 12 years. I was 12 years old when I first saw Day of the Daleks, and it was the very first Jon Pertwee story I saw, the first pre-McCoy story I watched as a fan actually, on Christmas morning. I'm not telling you the year. The central twist completely blew me preteen mind, and the moment that the Doctor works out the truth about what's really going on still gives me the chills today. It's a brilliantly clever, frightening and fatalistic idea. Day of the Daleks also has some terrific performances. Jon Pertwee gives one of his best performances ever as the Doctor, particularly in his confrontations with the Controller, played with icy brilliance by Aubrey Woods. Katie Manning and Nicholas Courtney are on their usual great form, and Katie is never cuter than in this story in my opinion, and the rest of the guest cast are also excellent. The music is great and the direction is tight and effective. It's hard to believe it's the same director who made such an ass of the Time Monster at the end of the same season, though with that pile of crap maybe he just couldn't be bothered. I can't really blame him. Day of the Daleks works on all levels. It is the best Dalek story of the Pertwee era, one of the best of his era in general, and an absolute all-time classic in my opinion. That fandom underrates it so, and for such trivial, petty, irrelevant reasons, speaks volumes about the skewed priorities and anal fixations of so many Who fans. If you've never seen this great story before, go out and get it immediately.